Hello there, 8th graders. Welcome to today's Explainer. Go ahead and put on your detective hats, because today we are becoming truth detectives. In our world today, anyone can post or say literally anything. So how do we actually know what's real? Well, today we're going to learn exactly how to analyze text features to prove our facts, build up our credibility, and back up our writing just like the pros do. Let's get right into it.
Now, long before modern schools, textbooks, or, internet research ever existed, the Bible actually established the ultimate standard for truth. Matthew 18:16 tells us, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established. It's a foundational principle, right? We can't just make a huge claim and expect everyone to blindly believe us. We need witnesses to verify our info. We absolutely need that proof. So, that brings us to a really big question for you as a student. How do we prove our own words are true? Think about it. When you hand in an essay or a research paper, how does your teacher know you didn't just, invent all your facts on a spot? How do you prove your writing is honest and trustworthy? Well, just like a courtroom needs witnesses, your writing needs academic witnesses.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at witnesses to the truth. Second, footnotes and endnotes. Third, we'll meet the 3 citation styles. Fourth, building your credibility. And finally, Section 5, the godly learner.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Witnesses to the Truth. So, when we talk about text features, like citations, I want you to think of them as your receipts. When you buy something at a store, the receipt proves you paid for it honestly, right? You didn't just swipe it. Well, text features do the exact same thing for your writing. They show that your piece is reliable. They reveal exactly where your info came from, and that lets anyone reading your work actually go and check the truth for themselves. Plus, and this is crucial, knowing how to use these helps you avoid plagiarism and gives proper credit to the original creators. It proves you gathered your info the right way. Moving right along to Section 2, Footnotes and Endnotes.
Now, the difference between these two is honestly so simple, but people mix them up all the time. Think of a footnote as a helpful little bonus fact that pops up right away. Footnotes appear at the bottom, or literally the foot, of the exact page you're reading. They explain terms or cite sources right there on the spot. Endnotes do the exact same job, but instead of hanging out at the bottom of the page, they wait for you at the finish line. They're collected all together at the end of a chapter or the end of the book. Both of them are great because they guide you to more info if you really want to dig deeper. Let's look at a footnote in action. Imagine you're reading an article, and you see this sentence. The Kyoto Protocol set international goals for reducing greenhouse gases. Notice that tiny little number 1 next to Kyoto Protocol? That's your signal. You look down at the bottom of the page, and boom, there's the footnote clarifying. An international treaty adopted in 1997 to address climate change. See how brilliantly that works? It instantly clarifies a complex term without interrupting the flow of whatever you're reading.
Now let's flip over to an endnote example. If you go to the back of a source book, you might see a list of endnotes. One might read, Smith, J. 2018, Climate Policy, New York, Harper Press. This gives you, the reader, the complete source info. If you wanted to verify the author's facts, you literally have the exact map to go find J. Smith's book and check it out for yourself. Okay, let's dive into Section 3, the 3 citation styles. Meet the big 3, APA, MLA, and Chicago. And this perfectly illustrates why they exist. They actually focus on totally different things based on the subject you're studying. APA, the American Psychological Association, cares a whole lot about the date something was published. Why? Well, because it's used in science and research where newer information is totally key. A science experiment from 2024 is going to be way different from one in 1994, right? On the flip side, MLA, the Modern Language Association, cares most about the author and the title. That's used in literature and humanities, where the text itself is really the star of the show. And finally, the Chicago Manual of Style. It wants the whole shebang: who, what, where, and when. You'll see that a lot in history or publishing. Let's see how these look using the exact same source. Lois Lowry's famous book, The Giver. In APA style, the reference looks like this. Lowry, L., 1993, The Giver, Houghton Mifflin. Notice how the date, 1993, is placed right up front in parentheses? APA wants you to see that date immediately. When you cite this inside your paragraph, which we call an in-text citation, you just write the author's last name and the year. Lowry, 1993. Now let's switch gears to MLA for that exact same book. The reference list reads, Lowry, Lois, The Giver, Houghton Mifflin, 1993. See the difference? The author's full name takes center stage, and the date is pushed all the way to the back. For the in-text citation, right after a fact in your paragraph, MLA completely drops the year and just uses the author and the page number. So it looks like this: Lowry 45. The 45 is just the page number where you found your info.
Finally, let's check out Chicago style. The reference is Lowry, Lois, The Giver, Boston, Houghton Mifflin, 1993. Notice how it throws in the specific city of publication, Boston. Chicago loves its details. The in-text clue kind of combines the best of both worlds, giving the author, the year, and the page number. Lowry, 1993, 45. Next up is Section 4, Building Your Credibility. It all really comes down to this super simple 3-step process that's going to absolutely bulletproof your writing. Step 1, find a reliable fact from a solid source. Step 2, give credit immediately using an in-text citation right after you write the fact. And Step 3, provide the full map in your reference list at the very end of your paper. Stick to those 3 steps, and your teachers will definitely see you as a careful, honest truth detective. And that brings us to our final and, frankly, most important section today, Section 5, the Godly Learner. Because, everything we do in academics connects right back to our spiritual walk. The Apostle Paul tells us in Romans 8, 6, 7, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." What we choose to focus our minds on absolutely determines the direction of our lives. If we're carnally minded, just focused on ourselves, taking shortcuts, maybe taking credit for work that isn't ours, well, that just leads to trouble. But if we're spiritually minded, pursuing truth honestly, it brings life and peace. And this perfectly captures the HeroesMart Academy philosophy. Here, we intertwine biblical morality with education, because education without morality can actually hurt. Think about it. Knowing how to cite sources and research brilliant facts, that just makes you highly capable. But knowledge and intelligence should actually help you make wise, God-honoring choices, not just make you better at doing things your own way. Like Romans 8 teaches, keeping the mind spiritually minded leads to life and peace. We absolutely want you to pursue incredible academic excellence, but you've got to keep your mind centered on God, truth, wisdom, and righteous choices while you do it. So, 8th graders, I want to leave you with this really important question to think about as you tackle your homework this week. Will your knowledge just make you capable, or will it make you wise? Anyone can learn the rules of APA or MLA formatting, but choosing to use them to be a truthful, honest witness in a world that desperately needs integrity, now that is true wisdom. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer today, Truth Detectives. Stay curious, stay honest, and I'll catch you next time.